Well,
No,
the multiple use court.
vehicle.
Yeah,
There's gonna be multiple heavy.
I don't know what all of them.
That's what she told me, and I said, but those vehicles are gonna be going over the roots of the elm trees.
That's, we are aware of that.
The town is gonna build a platform for the truck.
I think that Greg Bowden had talked about putting some off-road mats in there.
Yeah.
When he goes to go in,
When he goes in.
but I don't know that he was right to, on the brink of going in there or anything. I think he,
I put some kind of over. So the water continues flowing, continue to flow downhill. And not hit a barricade there. From the street to both to the. So that's what happens there, but the issue with Bill is that there were some trees he had to take down, and what about the leader on?
I have not set a bucket truck up there, to look at that yet, but I will.
This fall or when?
This fall, yeah, we're kind of getting set to come back down here for a while. We just haven't been down.
Is that leader also at Musgroves? Or
It
you?
is,
Oh,
yeah.
It's the uphill elm.
Yeah.
oh,
yeah, it's kind of,
And you think you may have to remove it?
well, we'll find out and see what it looks like on the inside, but yeah, I suspect it's not gonna be great, and maybe we take the leader off
Mhm.
and then see how we progress down the tree from there.
Copy for everything.
Maybe it's not as bad as I think it is, but producing quite a ton these days, in a
Yeah.
couple of spots, so.
mhm.
Yeah,
You know, the fact that we know about it and it kind of leans towards his house and towards the road. But,
okay. So, I guess the Castine tree will go through the winter and we'll see what happens there. The one at the bottom of.
yes, I talked to Chris from CMP. Said that he'd get a hold of me when he was in the area, because he had other work here. We haven't spoken since. See,
TBD.
Yeah.
Okay. So the invoice from you for printing. Came in for a leader, and I don't know which one it was, but that was something I got from Karen, her report.
so we just sent this,
$700 or something.
so that would have been, that May. Well, there've been a couple of things that we did. I'm not sure what you've been invoiced for or not, but that was probably the leader on tree number 132 that broke this summer.
Yeah.
Chances are that would sound about right.
'Cause I didn't see an invoice copies to me and. With Karen's. You just mentioned it was an invoice came in from you, but you didn't mention. See,
So in the last week, you have an invoice for the tree treatment.
132, but you did say what it was.
Okay, yeah, so that was the older one for, yep.
Invoice was for $700. Okay.
And that's kind of when I did my little look around up in the top of the tree and figured,
So that one is the. That one's a Castine.
yep,
The big thing. Even as far as the Lee tree goes. I have late fall, you were gonna do some trimming of dead material. Okay, that's TBD still?
yep,
Okay.
yeah, we're just getting to the point where
Okay.
we're doing that. Maine Maritime, we got a couple to do. I'll probably wait till there aren't any students around to do those. They're right over the steps at Miss Mukes. So we'll, as soon as they're gone, which I think is right after Thanksgiving.
Yeah. Out of here and look at this split, you just know.
Yeah.
Class. Off they go. 5 trees, were removed MMA area, some being on the street, right?
Okay, that was last year. Or this,
May, I have removed on May 7th,
yeah,
and with 5 of them that were involved. Some were on the street, some were in the, maybe Dismukes.
Yep,
Lawn
there
area.
were.
I just don't have the numbers of those.
Okay, I don't have it with me, but I do have the numbers.
Okay, now there are 3, it looks like 3, I think those numbers are accurate.
It's actually 4 or,
4 trees?
yep. There's a small untagged one, or maybe it has a tag. There's a small one that I didn't even include on the list there as well.
And those are to be done, right?
To be done, yep, right around, well, whenever the students leave.
Oh.
Those will be, we'll get them out of there.
Okay. Okay. Benton, we're gonna just keep rocking that one. Because it was a surprise. Bark Coopers, we're gonna do that later as well.
Dormant season, yep.
Okay. The oak is gone, the corner, the one at the corner, number 31 is, indicated that it was treated.
Treated and sampled, but I need to take another one. Because
Okay.
I'm not sure what's going on with that tree, but, that would be the first one that has been treated that appears to be in that condition.
Yeah.
Um,
And it started to decline like that after you treated it.
Shortly after.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Which I've seen that, dead suckering on a few other trees in town, early in the season.
No. Side of the tree.
Right, the other ones haven't amounted to much. Tarlin's tree did that a few times. Is this a Dutch elm? I checked it out. I couldn't find anything. And no, there was a row of suckers going up the trunk of that were dead or dying when we treated it. Nothing came of it. I couldn't find anything to test what came of it. But the tree number 31 it was similar. There was nothing in the crown. It was a couple of dead suckers going up the stem. I sampled it, couldn't find anything there, so we treated it. What I did notice when treating it was it took 2 days to put chemical in that tree.
Oh,
And that had been a pretty decent tree and it took chemical fairly well. So I don't know, we had to leave the tank set up gravity feed overnight and so I'm not exactly sure what's going on inside that tree that would have caused it.
Yeah.
But when we did the treatment, the crown was still green, it just had some dead suckers on it. But then that just sort of progressed up that one, and it's mostly on one side.
Yeah.
But that's a Dutch elm-like thing to have happen as well.
So you're gonna grab another sample?
Yes, I am. Yep.
The Ashton P. Dyer water is looking.
Yep, that's gonna be a removal.
It
Yeah.
is, okay.
Yeah, but I will confirm. I'll get into that a little bit and just confirm that it's got Dutch elm, but I'm pretty sure it's probably kind of unavoidable anyway, the one right next to it.
Yeah,
Was,
it had disease, right?
Yep. It did, and there's no way those weren't root connected.
So you're gonna sample first?
Yeah, or at least do a field sample. Yeah. I'll get up there and I'll cut something and I'm pretty sure that I know what I'm gonna find.
Okay, then there's the Elmont Wilson Museum that Julia wanted to have trimmed away from the roof.
Yep,
That's TBD later.
yep.
Okay.
Yeah, that'll all be dormant season stuff.
Okay. Then that tree behind the clinic,
Yeah, I've taken a look at it, stone dead.
Oh,
Looks like such an.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Not that it even matters at this point, it's
What do you think about timing on
whenever.
that?
I haven't talked to anybody.
Would you like me to give them a notification?
Probably should.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you did, that would be easier, and I can get a call from them or whatever. And get an estimate on it.
Alright, we'll do that. And then we're gonna look at Betsy Street on Main Street when it starts to leaf out, but it looks like every year, in the last 3 years, it's getting weaker.
Yeah, I mean, there's a couple more things we could try, but I don't know that we're gonna be successful with that. I don't think there's enough left on it to sustain a tree that size, and that'll be on our treat list this year. The way it is, I doubt we can treat it.
Yeah.
So-
Well,
I don't think so. There isn't much,
around.
no,
That's a tree that got kind of hammered during the
it did.
Main Street.
Unknown how much, because everybody seemed to be quite an uproar over it, but it was buried when I got back there. It was the first one,
Yeah.
you know, the trench was filled in. I didn't see.
mhm.
The guys digging, oh,
It was like an oops. Yeah.
yeah, well, they went right across the corner of. That was not on the blueprint to go that way. Somebody,
Oh,
it was supposed to come from the water line was supposed to come across the driveway from the opposite corner, and instead they took the logical route. And
I
for
know,
them, which is straight,
I
and it
know
went,
there was a kerfuffle of it, but I didn't know
Yeah.
exactly.
but I never actually saw what was going on under the ground there, because when I got there, it was all filled in and done, so.
Mm.
Oh, I'm going in.
Okay, so that's our project, and the projects for this.
And we've got one more on the list. Next to, take some, weight off of, the tree at Adam Peck's house.
Wait off the tree, Adam.
And it is a big tree. It's a town elm. Wholly behind his fence, I think, but it's still a town tree, 'cause it's close, it's streetscape measured.
Where's that
It's
located?
a hybrid, it's, you know where John Lawson lives?
John Lawson?
Lawson,
Oh,
Jim
Jim,
Lawson.
yeah, sure.
Okay, no, Jenny Bix,
Jenny Briggs.
Jenny Bix house.
Oh, I didn't know.
But anyway, it's right,
Yeah, no, yeah.
there may
I
not
didn't
be a
realize
number
that
on
was
it,
his name.
Yeah,
it's back in there, and
Hmm.
it is there,
and he called about it?
she called it.
He called the town?
Yep. And, so I went down, looked at it, and said, I never paid any attention to it back in there, but, then we measured it, and it's clearly in. And it's all over their roof, it's a hybrid,
Oh,
It's a what?
it's a hybrid,
Oh, which one of those? Liberties?
could be, kind of looks like that way, sort of falling apart on the
How
inside,
big a trunk is it?
bigger than you'd think, you know, it's,
no,
yeah, it's probably 16 inches. 15
Or it
inches.
could have been planted back in '00.
Yeah. Yeah, because they grow-
Liberties came in.
They grow fast, yep, and it's kind of sheltered, and it's kind of back out of the way, so you don't see it.
Does it have Dutch elm?
No, it's just growing all over their roof and.
Oh.
And,
major
it's got
tree.
terrible structure, but, you know, she asked if we could do anything with it, I'm like, yeah, we can take some weight off and we can limp it along for a while.
Hmm.
It's split crotch, you know, it's got everything that you don't want, but it is there and it is viable.
But take some weight off means you're cutting limbs off, right?
Cutting limbs off, and, yeah, and plus it's all over, it's right on their roof.
I'm in the vicinity, I'll check it
But I
out.
couldn't, yeah, it's not a great specimen, but I can't see any compelling reason to remove it.
But, you know, all these liberties that went out all over town here down. Buchanan has a whole bunch along the front of there. property, and so does Timber Galen. My daughter has one on her property. They're all over, the place, you know, there are all these liberties that were cultivars. And they have very poor, as you say, crop structure, they grow like a shrub. And you just know that something's gonna give at some point
Right,
for all of them.
it just needs a little ice,
Needs what?
a little bit of ice will usually split them.
Yeah, exactly. Well, that's what happened at the Buchanan's several winters ago when there was heavy snow. All those trees lost chunks of them, but they were still there, still growing. So, okay, and that builds back to the town, does it?
What's that?
That will be billed back to the town.
Yep.
Okay. This is the thing when people put trees on their property. Technically on public tree space, then they become town's responsibility to do them.
Yeah, I think the town might have planted that.
Well, that might have been back when Joe Slocum was promoting.
Mhm.
Oh, was it Liberty trees he was planting?
Liberty was, I believe, the cultivar that was, because Karen came up with an invoice that indicated that. And you indicated that's what they were, and so did this parish. Liberty was the name.
They have the look,
the-
they look like that, yeah, or similar.
And the thing about Liberty is it's a multiclone, there's 6 different Liberties, and only one of them really is resistant to disease, and the other 5 are like, meh, not so good.
Oh,
So we don't know what we got. Great. Castine Liberties. Okay, I want to thank you for your invoices, by the way. Talking about money with the gang later, but there's one thing, this planning grant, this, Project Canopy grant that we have, it's a planning and education grant. And a lot of the focus is on woodlot management and assessment of woodlots by woodlot owners, and we're gonna pick 3 plots to assess them. And it's not, it's out of my wheelhouse. Well, I'm more elm tree centric here, but the elm trees on the town, right of the streetscape, are part of the grant essentially. So at some point, I want to get together with you if I could, and Ina Schoenberg, who wrote the grant, and talk about what kind of report we can write up together in terms of the elements of what needs to have in it, and what we've been doing, what we could do, what our opportunities are, what our risks are, all that kind of stuff. So you can become available at some time in the future.
Oh, absolutely, I don't think it'd be hard to come up with that.
The arborist that we thought we had, to be involved in this whole project for the year until next June or so, has basically gone radio silent. But this fellow over at the Blue Hill Heritage Trust, J.W. Harrington is his name, who's been extremely helpful, and he's going to kind of help us along here as an arborist for Blue Hill Heritage Trust, and he's gonna try to locate another arborist that will work with us. I know you're too busy to do this stuff, it's not your kind of thing. So we'll square all that, up, but I want to be able to work with you on specifically the elm trees of Castine and any other streetscape tree. I mean, we lost the big oak up at Paul Manning's, and that was probably the only major streetscape tree that we need to worry about, needed to worry about.
Yeah, kind of agree with you.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess non-elm large
Yeah,
trees, there's that horse chestnut at, Peter Davis.
Yeah.
It's,
and then there are a couple of big oaks right up in front of Debbie Rogers.
Yep.
Just 3 doors up, worked up from.
which are, one of them's had a few issues over the years, the other one's pretty good, Benjamin has one.
Yeah.
On the corner, that had some pretty major storm damage in it, a few years ago, but it's oak, so it's healed, or it's healing, I mean, there's a big rip on the back of it. But other than that, it's, you know, going down the road, it's pretty nice looking tree.
Yeah.
Rogers, I think I pruned those a little bit of pruning on them 15 years ago. I mean, they still look pretty decent, though I think one of them's getting a little decayed. A little bit.
Speaking of pruning, there are various trees around that look like they could use a pruning that are elms. Notably down by the corner of Patrick's property on the State Street, Court Street.
Yep.
There's a lot of debris up on the top of those.
Yeah.
And then maybe a few just off on the other side of State Street. The golf club, essentially the golf club property there. There's a few there. Anyway, we can get at those, or I think at some point we should pick off this.
We should, we should,
Because they're on the street, public street area, and which.
I mean, the ones that are in the, on the other side, that are kind of in the field, I don't know if there's any great threat there. One of those trees is doing burn. So the other ones you're talking about are on, you know, kind of by King's house.
Yeah,
Yep,
between King and the corner,
yep.
right there.
So it's been quite a long, it's probably on a tree list as to when we last pruned it, and that would have been a long time ago.
Right.
Um,
They all these trees are old enough now, so that they get it. So often as a live up high that just quits, you know, and it's a dead piece.
right,
So,
I mean, we could certainly go through them again, so,
I will walk around town or drive around town, make a list, and you do that, anyway, you know. you-
I kind of, I notice stuff, but not, I mean, you're here every day, so.
Yeah.
But,
I think that would be a good idea, just to pay attention, because it also, people look at them and they go, what's wrong with that tree? Right? There's a dead branch up there. Why is it? I have to answer questions that are not that comfortable in it. We'll get to it someday.
no, it's kind of, probably over the street, it's a good idea to remove deadwood, and it's a good idea to kind of keep the crowns of those elms in half decent shape. Other than that, as far as the pruning standards go, removal of deadwood has been kind of dropped from pruning standards.
Removal of dead wood like this.
Has been dropped from the pruning standards. It's not something that you necessarily have to do
Okay.
anymore, or not necessarily recommended, but over a street, you should take them out, and they could potentially harbor bark beetles, though I think a lot of those that become dead bark free don't harbor anything, but just the same, it's kind of standard to take them out.
Okay. Let's see, just I wanna mention something, we bought some trees. Two actually, and when they were delivered, we wanted a tupelo, which has been planted down on our here. 331, I guess it is a corner of the Ritchie Field, on the other side of the. Carl had a couple of his guys planted there. And, okay, meanwhile, the other tree, oak. And the guy delivered, I wanted to deliver it at the Lee House. And, but then it became apparent that Charlie had ordered 3 Princeton elms. There was really no room for it.
Oh.
So there it sat, but when it was delivered, looking at it, and the guy said, I said to the delivery guy, this is not a white oak, it's a red oak. He said, no, look at the tag, and he showed me that it says it's a white oak, but no, it was not a white oak. It's clearly a red oak. I don't want to buy red oak. You know, one thing. So it's kind of sat on the lawn there. I don't know where the heck to put it. Whitney, who lives in the house there, kind of tucked it behind the building to get it up. Apologize to her, I was about to do that.
It's still,
I was about to remove it and she had already moved it.
it's sitting there
Is there any,
Lying down.
lying down.
But,
It doesn't get much water.
so I don't know if it's still alive or not. Buck, who owns the Plants Unlimited, I called him, I probably met several times, and finally I Buck. And I said, Buck, we have this red oak here, and I don't want a red oak. I like it, because do whatever you want with it, I don't want it. Just plant it anywhere, I don't care. We'll deal with it next year and get you a white oak next year. And so we never paid for that, we paid for the two glove enough. You know. I don't know. Red oak, I honestly don't. And that's becoming a problem, like, if anyone can identify locations, to plant these only,
Why are red oaks unacceptable?
because they're everywhere.
Oh,
It's like planting grass in your grass.
right, they're not bad trees, by any means, they're a really good tree, Manning's tree is right. Just they are
everywhere.
everywhere.
You look across the bay, you see all those trees that are turning brown, yeah, they're all red oak trees. Yeah, they're-
Is there anywhere off the square that might?
Hmm?
Is there anywhere out off the square that might have a spot?
Oh, well, why bother? Off the square, I mean, these trees are supposed to enhance our village character, right? That's what. Point
But is that still part of Castine, no?
You know, but.
No? Oh, okay.
Would they fight the knotweed or anything? Would they?
You would
Like, like maybe they block the sun, the knotweed doesn't grow. 'Cause like,
They really want to hire, someone with a backhoe and dig a hole and plant a red oak or wherever. I don't, personally, I don't know what everyone else. Does. I think a chainsaw would be very handy with that tree, right?
How big is that?
The gauge is maybe like so.
Oh, so it's pretty decent
Yeah.
size.
Oh, yeah.
Well,
It's longer
That's
than-
only gotta be like
12
this.
footer, but I said to Buck, I said, I don't wanna have to take care of this tree, please come get it, and they never,
What was,
then he said, oh, I'm not worried about that tree at this time of year,
what was the cost of the tree?
400 and something,
Dude,
Wow.
but we didn't pay, right, I told Karen to hold off on it.
Well, maybe the thousands out there watching on YouTube right now will hear this. They'll rescue this red oak.
So I don't know if it's, leave it around. Whether that's because of false senescence or not, I don't know.
Yeah, you might want,
I did water it once, I gave it a good slug of water. But then had to lie it back down on its side.
Yeah. looked pretty sad.
It's still all roped up.
Put it online, free red oak seed,
Yeah.
and anyone who will come and take it. I'll bet you people in town or out off now.
And people will say, is it alive or dead? And I'll say, I don't. Why don't you give it a try?
you could give it to Paul Manning, he could put it in where we just took one
I
out.
was
That's a
thinking,
good,
of that actually. But who's gonna plant it? I'm not gonna plant it.
when you take.
Who do we
the-
have down there to
Plant.
plant a red oak tree?
When you pull out the roots of the one that's dead, there'll be a big hole, just put the new one in.
I'm just pulling out.
You're gonna pull those.
I doubt anybody's gonna.
Take your with the chainsaw.
That- The gauge was actually like this.
And it's hollow,
It is.
yeah, it's actually.
I'll ask Sue if she wants to send out one of those text blasts or throw it up on the Facebook page.
If Buck doesn't want the tree and we don't want the tree, it can go away. It's go.
I know, but I had like a little tiny one that was a centerpiece, a hemlock that's sitting literally in my yard. And I'm like, I didn't want to do it. I'm gonna have to sneak it into the ground someplace in the backyard.
Mhm.
And of course, I think the mower will probably go over it, but I always feel guilty about not getting those planted.
That was our one little hiccup with our quote replanting program. Suggestions, let me know. But I don't know.
Would an ice auger get down through that hollow spot?
Oh, you could reach down in there with a hand. You could dig
It's only
that out,
about this wide.
you could dig it. Oh, you mean inside the stump? Yeah, you could dig that out by hand.
No?
I don't know how deep it is, but we did explore. We weren't looking for more debris at that point in time.
Right.
That was,
That was a major.
I'm just thinking,
Major.
I saw that we get in there and the fresh roots would eat the old roots.
That's what I said, plant a new tree and everything, so.
possibly.
We'll give it to
It
you.
would be an experiment.
So,
It would probably grow
it would probably.
if you could get it so that it's touching mineral soil, which is probably in the bottom of that.
Worth a try, I think.
Who would like to take on that fight? I'm serious. I don't want to take on that. No, anyone?
Can we give them a tree?
Sure.
Don't need to
Balls and
do,
don't
don't
want
need to
to
do
pay
any legalese on it, no?
Sure.
Thanks. The people said that, I don't know if we do anything else, we plant all these trees, right? We just plop them on the ground, somebody says, yes, there's no contract.
Right.
Mhm.
They're usually in our right of way anyways, aren't they, for the most part, or?
Well, yeah, and that's the whole point of
Right.
the use of these trees, is putting them in the public tree space,
Right.
so.
And that was a red oak there that came down.
Yes,
And Paul said it probably began its life, he understands, in the late 1700s.
Oh, really?
Big enough to be that old.
sounds about right. You couldn't, of course, tell because the center had been gone for 100 years probably.
Oh,
There's absolutely nothing in the inside. Right.
Entrance, and the tree was made up by the sapwood ring, essentially,
huh.
and all the heartwood was.
I'm surprised that never came down on the storm.
A lot of strength in those outer rings.
Anything else for Bill? So we'll see you around town when. Everything's done and the students are.
Yep, I'll probably be floating in and out a little bit sooner than that for some other stuff. So we're definitely gonna treat trees next year. I will pre-order now.
Okay,
Let's get the chemical on hand, I guess.
price increase on that much?
Well, I haven't checked because every year they offer these great programs. You can pre-order from my vendor anyway, and you can save a whole bunch of money
Oh.
on a lot of different stuff.
Wow.
Arbortech's never on the list.
Um,
So
This is what company? have you got with?
I go through Rainbow EcoSign, which you can get at other places. I buy everything through them, so I don't have to call other people, but seems like the price is the same everywhere. So doesn't, there's no great savings, but I will get that ball rolling. Yeah.
Good. Good, I don't remember how many trees we had next year, we had 16 this year.
So we had 16 plus 4 at Maine Maritime plus 5 private,
5?
5 private.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, who were they? I don't know who they are. Benjamin and. One of them,
Oh, 6 private, excuse me.
Benjamin.
Jenny Foot,
But that's only one,
that's one.
so Benjamin is one, Ginny is one.
Mackenzie,
Oh,
who bought Rogers,
That's-
Jim Rogers. That's one.
they sort of, well, prior on kind of put a lot of hardscape there.
It's still kicking.
Yeah.
It does not look bad. It looked bad for a year or so, and now it doesn't look too bad, so. They asked me to come look at it and tell them what I thought, and I kind of gave them my assessment, which is you can't see under the ground, so who knows what's going on, but the ground looked good, so we treated it.
Do you know who installed the hardscape?
No idea.
Yeah.
Like
It was Brad and Courtney
Hamlin,
Hamlin, yeah.
but I don't really, I've met her once, and I've never met him, maybe I've met her twice, I don't know. But I don't,
But
so, and
that's That's three. Who are the other?
There are, you could look at it as 2 trees or as 3 trees, but it's 3 tag trees in full and wider backyard
Oh,
that had Dutch elm. We pruned it out, treated with Alamo, a couple of years ago.
mhm.
No sign of it coming back, so we treated with Arbortech this year.
Okay. And that's one of the ones on the list here. Oh,
They're not on the list, because
That's not, this is only the town trees.
yeah, I also sent you the main maritime trees, but I did not send you the private.
Yeah, that'd be good to know.
But
As long as they're tagged trees. I would-
they are, yep, they are tagged and I have it in my field book, but those are, one of those is a double stem tree, but it's tagged as 2, I believe, so that's why I'm calling it 3 trees.
Yeah, if I can find out what they are. I mean,
Well, let me,
I know Ginny and the Benjamins is not tagged. It's in the back.
that is probably not, it's kind of a young tree, but it's doing really well.
It's like 125 is the
Mackenzie tree,
Mackenzie.
Yep.
And Ginny's is probably,
127.
okay. Benjamin does not have a tag.
Benjamin does not, and then full and wider is 186, 187, 188.
Do see a tag number out in, way in the field in London,
Maybe that is, maybe,
223. I'll go check it out sometime. Okay. Thank you, Bill.
No, thank you.
you need this back, you can copy.
Oh, no, okay, yeah, thank you.
We'll see you around town.
Yep, I will be, I'll be floating in and out of town here.
Okay, good. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Have a good weekend.
Yeah, you as well.
So, there's you approve of the minutes of meeting, which is September 27th. Right here,
Yeah.
all in favor?
Second.
Yes, yes, yes. Got bills done, finances, Aaron provided the latest. Which the operating budget, which is what we are ordered from the town, is 24,250. But let's see, $750. Anyway, the bills invoice, latest invoice for 16 trees was 13,225. So that brings our operating budget down to 11,025. And that is a budget, so we need to try to consume it all before we start digging into our preservation fund. Which is which is the money we get when we do our fundraising.
The amount.
The amount is $12,166. It's $1,000 more than last time because we were awarded $1,000 from the Castine Garden Club.
Did you send a proper thank you?
We certainly did.
Thank you.
And actually, that's in the minutes of last month. So, and then the replanting budget is at 1,540 and about $450 was used for the Tupelo tree. We have not paid for the red oak. That's where we are there, and this is fundraising time of year. I have to write a annual summary note and need for funds from all of our wonderful townspeople. And I will run it by everybody, and then we can get it printed. And have a envelope stuff. Like we've done before.
I don't know where it's come from, Don.
Well,
That's an old one.
Yeah, but it's so interesting.
It's like the one we have now.
The history of the Elm Tree,
Yeah.
Liberty Tree,
Yeah.
Elm Street.
Mhm.
I didn't know all this.
We have our own brochure that has that information.
Oh, this is not our brochure.
Well, it's an old one.
Yeah,
Old-
it's at an Orthodox day,
Yeah,
yeah,
that's back in '09.
yeah.
Oh, wow.
Do you have the current one there, Kathy? The new?
Oh, no, this is, oh, I've got a bunch of old stuff here,
Yeah.
just happen to still be here.
Stump grinding, yay, finally Dave Tuck answered me, I repeated attempts to reach him. And he will be here next Monday or Tuesday for stump grinding. His wife Stacy said, oh, he broke his hand.
Oh,
But he's gonna be here to do stump grinding, which is primarily on Pleasant Street. And he's working with. So between them, I figure this is gonna be a $5,000, at least maybe more. So that'll bring our 11,000 balance in the operating budget down to 5-ish. Hopefully. Because I'm gonna be able to consume it all by next July 1. Or July 1. But that means, hopefully, that means that our preservation fund from this year will be preserved pretty well. And it will luckily be in place for 2 years from now. Treatment is gonna be more like 30 trees, which will be quite a few trees.
ooh,
It was like last year was a heavy hit year from what's this? Because there were so many trees. And I gave you the replanting update. They'll get a white oak next spring, I guess, from Buck at Plants Unlimited. One thing we did, by the way. The golf club wanted a new linden tree to replace the one that had the 6th green. And they got one, and since I lived with the president of the garden club, we agreed that we could share in the transportation of the town trees and the golf club trees, so we split that cost. All good,
It's gonna be,
$75 split in two.
gonna go in the same place as the old one.
Near, it's already,
Well,
it's already in.
it's already in.
Yeah, it's a small one. Small gate.
Nice bench up there now.
Oh.
It was a nice service.
What's the plan for around that, the big, club lake?
That is the pond expansion, which the planning board approved a couple of years ago. It got delayed because of wet weather last fall, it was a wet fall, so that Bill couldn't
You get to
do
do
it.
equipment.
Yeah. This fall was perfect, September, October, perfect conditions.
The feed and irrigation system for the greens.
Yeah.
My wife is always thinking, and she's like, why are we paying to get rid of all of this soil? Why don't we spread it on the fairway of the 7th fairway? We desperately need it. So that's what's happening right now. You'll see these vehicles. Well, there's one that Bill's operating, one that is taking the soil and putting it through a screening, huge frame to screen it, to get rid of rocks.
mhm.
And then there's another vehicle that he scoops all of the screen stuff up, puts it in this little, it's an interesting looking, it's on a track. It's like, you know, bulldozer kind of thing. But it has a back on it that dumps the stuff into a big pile, and it's all beautiful looking loam. And they're plopping it all over the 7th fairway, and they've started kind of where you almost can't see it from the road, and they're working backwards towards the pond with just putting piles of stuff, and they're gonna spread it. And it looks hysterical. It looks like Caddyshack on steroids. And I took a picture of it. There's all these mounds here and there. And I sent it to my brothers going, oh my God, Bill Murray has to see this. The Gophers are going crazy on the seventh.
Invited to, it's like you're the first one to play the seventh hole.
Yeah. So that's the activity you're seeing now, because the pond itself hasn't been finished, it's all
And it's gonna be that big.
that big. You know,
It's gonna be grass around it.
Oh, yeah,
it'll be
vegetation,
natural.
grow right,
Just,
take about a year or two.
yep, so lots more golf balls are gonna end up in the second.
Oh, yeah,
It
especially from the second hole.
Could be the town skating rink.
could, if we get
It already had been the old one.
In the old
People skated on that.
And this is 3-4 times the size of the other
I think the volume is supposed to be like 8 times.
one.
I took a limnology course in Huntsville. It's a complicated formula for transects and calculated volume. But it's gonna be quite a bit more water, which we need. And hopefully this winter, we're gonna get a few slugs of rain and it'll begin to fill up. There is a spring nearby that trickles down into it, that feeds it.
Definitely a big hole.
Hmm?
It's definitely a big hole.
Yeah, right down the center is a ledge,
Ledge,
granite
yeah.
dome ledge. And I took a picture of it after they drained the water from the original pond. And all these little white golf balls all around the edge, down where they trickle down. And there is one that's sitting on top of that granite ledge. Oh, it's so pretty good.
So you should buy some scuba gear and then you could,
Well-
start a used golf ball.
No one remembers when he was a little kid diving in the pond and just, it's all murky water. You just feel around, oh. Right here. Yeah. So the upcoming thing is fundraiser. I'm gonna write something this weekend and help everybody. Just give me your okay. If you have any suggestions for key elements that should be in it, basically it's gonna be what we've been doing, how successful our program is, how grateful we are for the money we are getting from you all. Keep up the good work. Yeah. Okay. That's the gist of it. Let's see if there's anything else we've got. Tree item is straightened out, that's good. And here is the new municipal boards and committees policy, which is 2 pages from back. I have not seen this yet.
Did Sue brief you on that?
Yeah.
So basically, if you don't have anybody joining you by Zoom, then there's no reason to give out the Zoom, so to speak.
Yeah.
It's the platform that I use to go live on YouTube, so that's why there's a Zoom on. But, and however, if you have some experts, your forester, or you need advice from a consultant, guests like that would be allowed without opening up to the masses, so to speak.
With Zoom.
Right. Oh, well, no, for the Zoom, right, so you could have the guests Zoom in, but that wouldn't open up everybody gets the Zoom link to everything. Yeah. Well, I'm seeing pretty blurry up there.
Mhm.
Further away you get, blurrier it gets. I told somebody there's a new 4K camera out there, but it's about 4K.
Oh. Well,
So if you're feeling good on Christmas time, you wanna give a gift and upgrade, you might be able to help us. Otherwise, this is good enough, you know?
the whole notion of having these video things is nice from the standpoint, I guess, of just feeling like you're there. But you could do just as well with a conference call.
Right.
Yeah, like unless you're presenting something and you want a camera on or have your computer.
Right.
Be able to be visual.
True.
People want to be able to look at something you're doing.
Yeah.
But otherwise, it's just, just people waving and talking, you know. So, I don't know. It's technology. I remember there was a company years and years ago that had a TV. It was like, CRT, tube TV. I forget the name of the company, but they were pioneering this type of thing. But they had to have all their equipment and it was a phone-in thing
How many years ago is that
and
one?
it was back in the early nineties, early to mid
Yeah.
nineties, and the camera could be looking, but it also had a camera that went face down, and you could put a piece of paper there, switch it, or it looked at. That's how they did it,
Yeah,
piece of paper.
yeah, no, before COVID, I was pricing out something in Allenstown for, and of course it was CARES Act money. And it was like 35,000 and it was gonna be a camera like this, but it was like. It was going to be triggered by you hitting the button of the microphone in front of you. It was like 35,000. The board said, yeah, forget that. We'll just go with the one fixed camera, which they didn't even like to have that, to be honest with you, but, but then they came out with these. I'm like, yeah, that's what I was looking for. A reasonably priced camera that would do it on its own. But it took COVID for them to scramble to develop that affordability because they weren't selling enough of them probably to spend the money on the tech before. But as soon as they said, ooh, all these companies in the towns, oh, well, they'll all need, we can sell millions of these versus, a few of them. So the price, of course, they were able to lower it by the sheer volume of the demand. So I guess in that essence, that was something good that came out of the COVID-19 times.
Well, what product is that?
This one?
Oh, are you talking this?
Oh, no, the one that was like 30,000?
Yeah.
I forget, some with a T. Get what it was, Telvec, I don't know. But then we had a different one called the Coolpo originally in Allenstown. I gave it to my police department because they, I'm like, well, I got the owl now, so would you like? And they go, yeah, we'll take it, because that one didn't have as good of camera, it's only like 7 or 480 maybe. So it was really blurry, even close up for the most part. And but then they came out with these and I'm like, all right, we might as well get.
Okay, before we adjourn, next meeting, I have written here in the agenda, on the 22nd, but that's only 3 weeks away, but maybe we're okay with that. The next one would be during Thanksgiving, which doesn't seem like it would work great, right? The one after that would be December 27th. So we're sort of getting into that holiday kind of conflict of the year. So, so we just carry on and do it on the 22nd of November. That's still the Good Friday, 2 weeks away.
What about moving it into
The day after Thanksgiving.
Well, we do that. That would be the 6th of December, and then what do we do?
28.
We would do into the 3rd of January. What do people have available?
I think that's fine. In 3 weeks, we're not gonna have that much.
No, yeah. So do we say December 6th? Yes,
Yes,
everyone will be here. I realize we need one more member. You know of anybody who's interested in becoming a tree committee?
Michelle Robinson,
Oh, yeah. That'd be great.
Brian maybe. How about the young man who bought the house up by the lighthouse? Is it a name? Very interesting.
Mike Dickerson.
Yeah.
I don't know. I haven't seen him around much. See? Mike around? Has he come to town?
And
So
Sean's
right
wife,
guys, I don't, yeah, that,
and Sean's wife.
No,
Who?
Ann Robinson,
Who?
is that who you're asking?
Yeah, but this, when you only used the
Oh.
first name, I didn't know who you were speaking
No,
about.
I'm Ann Robinson, oh, Ann is the wife of Michelle.
Who were you thinking? Were you thinking from?
Sean's wife, she has attended a few meetings.
Oh,
Well, we have offered that to her and she has suggested she wants to be on the committee several times, but nothing has happened. I'm not gonna chase her. If she wants to do it, fine, but it's up to her.
Sean,
Okay.
the old town manager, his wife.
Oh, yeah, Anne,
Ann.
yeah, she's so busy. Yeah. I know, she
Young
said.
kids, young kids.
Well, yeah, yeah.
So if you think of anybody, let me know.
Hmm.
I remember I bought
Someone,
area in front of the TNT and I said, yeah.
You give me no choice. How about Ann Musgrove?
Could be, I think that she's gonna be going to North Carolina.
I think she's already left.
No, they were
No?
here. They were at the Halloween thing last night.
Oh, well, and that's.
But that's what they're gonna be in the winter.
Oh, really?
I don't know.
Yeah.
Eyes on the sky.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah,
Welcome to Germany.
do adjourn.
so next meeting is.
All in favor? I, everybody?
Oh, it is, oh.
December 6th.